Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. In today's video, I want to have another look at Litecoin. Now, I think it's 15 days away until the halving is supposed to take place, and I wanted to sort of do one. I did one about 10 days ago. I wanted to do one somewhere in the middle, and then I want to do another one the day before or 2 days before, just to analyze the very short term price action of Litecoin leading up to the halving. Now, of course, the halving, it's been projected for the 2nd of August. And just a bit of information to throw at you to give you a bit of info on the coin and what this means. The halving is when a block is mined, Litecoin is rewarded. It's created from nowhere and given to the miners, the people that basically are ledgers. They remember all the transactions that happen on Litecoin network and make sure no sort of foul play or everything is as it should be. So just a few bits of information. The Litecoin, it's obviously halving. It's going down from 6.5, I think it's something like that, to 3.25, something like that. I'm actually not quite sure on that. I should have checked. It's going down from an inflation rate of 4.17. This is what it's currently at with its block rewards. The inflation rate is 4.17. This means it grows 4.17% annually. You know, the amount that is made from nowhere, inflating. And that is going to drop to 1.79%, which is pretty good for any coin. To have basically a 2% inflation it's not too bad. It's much better than the United States of America anyway, with their US dollar. And just another fun one. 87.5% of Litecoin has already been mined. It's already in existence. So there's only 12.5% of Litecoin left to be found. So just to, give you a few reasons why to be bullish on this coin. And there's a total of 10 halvings that need to take place. And this is only number 3. So we've got a long time. I think the last one is due in 2132 or something like that. So well after my lifetime anyway, so I don't have to worry about running out of Litecoin. But just some interesting facts there to sort of, if you don't already know, give you a bit of reason why there's usually a bit of hype. Now I wanted to start with this chart. We'll change in a minute, but this is where I had my Fibonacci retracement levels, or lines, whatever you want to call them. And I just wanted to see how that was holding up. I sort of predicted that we'd have a climb here. We could maybe retest this top barrier, and then we'd drop back down. And now it actually seems like we, clearly didn't reach this level again. I think we did say that it was a hypothetical, but, obviously not to go to the bank with it. Never go to the bank with any of this. It's just, all I'm doing in these videos is pointing out what can happen and what has happened before. So, I mean, if we simply moved this across, it'll be a bit more accurate. In fact, it'll be pretty bang on, to be honest with you. This downward line anyway. What I think is going to happen, let's get into that now. I just wanted to show you that basically we sort of come below this Fibonacci. We're probably going to touch this one, and then 2 weeks from now it'll be the halving. If we take 5 days, 6 days to get down to here, we might break through this resistance or stay at this resistance level for another few days afterwards. And then a few days before the halving, I think we'll sort of trade sideways. And then for the halving, I think we'll have our wick up and then back to negative price action. And to be honest with you, I think the halving will basically look something like this. I think it will be a big candle in comparison, like a 8% move there. I think it'll be slightly bigger, maybe. Well, I don't know. The crypto space at the moment is quite a different thing. There isn't any new money, but there is a lot of liquidity about, because obviously the markets have been pumping for a while, and with XRP, people might be ready to jump into Litecoin as well. There's a lot of, again, price will drive narrative. If it isn't a big pump, it'll be because we're in the middle of a bear market. We're in the deepest stages of a bear market potentially. The Fed's doing whatever, or You know, the narrative before is that Litecoin doesn't usually do well during its halving on the actual date and afterwards and before, which is quite, you know, common. We'll have a look at that now. But if it does a big pump, it'll be because Ripple is, you know, has won its case, and this and that and the other. Always price drives narrative. Narrative never drives price. Anyway, I just wanted to show you how our Fibonacci was holding up. I'm now going to swap to, if it will ever load, might retype it, LTC USD on Bitfinex. I think they're an old exchange. Just so we can have a look at price action from long ago. Now, the two halvings that have taken place before for Litecoin happened on the 25th of August in 2015. We'll have a look at this one first. And then the one after that was the 9th of August of 2019. So we can see this sort of time period here. Then back to 2015 August, you can see that a sort of similar thing here where, you know, downward price action to the halving. Now, this first one, we see that, first of all, let's find our halving dates. Halving dates, August 25th it was, going down. You can see it's this guy here. So you can see on the halving date, we had a massive sell-off, a huge sell-off. It was a proper sell the news event. Now, this is obviously, you know, almost a decade ago now. Crypto space has changed a lot, evolved in that time. The buyers that are here now aren't the buyers that were back then, and if they are, they're changed. You know, they're changed investors. They're not the same as they once were. They've been through a lot. They've seen a lot of change in the crypto space, and this is when we were talking about Litecoin being, you know, £3, $3 USD, roughly, considered, you know, compared to its now $190 whatever. And this is when it's doing poorly. So anyway, back to Litecoin, we can see on the day, big sell-off, and leading up to it for about 2 months, just downward price action, basically, for a month and a half. We'll see this sort of plays out. We usually have our wicks, you know, our big climbs, and then our drop-off for a long period of time. Then after that, Litecoin actually sort of recovers, to be fair to it. It sort of trades sideways for the rest of, well, to be fair, for a long time after that, until it sort of jumps up and goes back down. It shows bullish trends where it tries to break out. Anyway, we don't really need to analyze much after this. We can talk about that after the halving. All we want to know about is before, roughly where we are. If we have a look, we are 2 weeks away. So let's go to our thing here, and let's go to the 1st of August, which is 2 weeks away. We can see that in that time, Litecoin actually basically halved in price. It went down, you know, it went up 100% here, so that means it went down, you know, 50% roughly on its way down, which is pretty, you know, it's to be expected. It's a lot of sell the news. The hype comes well in advance. It's, you know, it's marketed in. People market these things in, price them in. So when Litecoin starts picking up a few months before, people get excited and it gets priced into the coin. So the coin's price goes up. You know, markets are forward thinking. They expect these things to happen. So before they've even happened, Litecoin experiences its pump. And anyway, and then of course, once we sort of have it fully priced in, and whatever event this was that caused this pump, Bitcoin maybe led, I don't know, we then get poor price action basically, leading up to and during the halving. So for the 2015 halving, yep, a totally different landscape, but still a very negative time for the coin, you know. And even though it does good for the coin later on, it makes it way more valuable. It's still it's still not good news for the coin for the short, medium term, and really for the, you know, I mean, if we go from here to here, it took 100 days, 3 months roughly, for it to do anything with its price again, or to come back to this sort of territory. So just something to be aware of. 2015, not the best year for Litecoin's halving. Now, let's have a look at 2019, and let's go to August. So again, halving took place on the 5th of August in 2019. Let's just find that date. It's this guy with a wick here. So we see about 45 days before, pretty similar to our last case, Litecoin peaked, and then it just went down. And the halving, now this time we had a good halving day. We obviously, it was a sell the news event, but there was obviously a lot of money to pour into Litecoin, which is nice, you know. Obviously we saw looks like a 10%-ish pump. Yep, 13, a bit more actually, I think. A 15% pump, yeah, on the actual halving day, which is nice. It's something, definitely something to be aware of, you know. And then 2 weeks before, where we roughly are now, so here, sorry, let me actually redo that. We can see that 2 weeks before, it actually dropped roughly 6% from the opening day, which would be today, to the halving opening day. And if you wanted to measure from low to high, if you timed it perfectly, it actually dropped 20%, 15% roughly. It dropped 15% from today till the lowest point, and then it jumped 30%. So those would have been good trades if you made them. And I think we're due to see a similar thing, because let's just go back to 2015 to check. Let's zoom out. Take forever scrolling that. 2015, August 25th. We see. Now, of course, this was a downward one, but a week before it, we had very strong downward action, big sell-offs. Okay, a lot of fear, because people expect poor price action in the medium long term after the halving. You know, for up to half a year to a year, oftentimes the price action is poor for Litecoin. So we have a sort of poor price action, bit of a recovery over the 6 days, and then it was a sort of a few days before the halving, sort of made or broke what was going to happen on the day. As you can see, we sort of went to the down, and boom, ass fell out of it. But it's interesting that, again, a week before, we had a sell-off, which sort of was the best time to buy. Now, back to August, we go to 5th of August. Where are we? Here. This wick. If we go back a week, we can see that, well, there wasn't really a big sell-off, but this was one of your best times to buy if you missed this, basically. And where we are now, we have missed that. So potentially the best time to buy is behind us, but the best chance from now to buy is roughly a week before the halving date. You can see here it was minus 8 days when we had our sort of lowest wick. That was a minus 10% from our current price. And it's interesting to see now, this is why I'm putting more weight into the 2019 halving, because we're literally at the same prices now. I mean, we see here that 45 days ago we were at 150 USD. If we go back here and see where we were roughly, we're much lower. We're at 115, but we're still sort of within this actual normal price range. I mean, you know, it's been a pretty bad year for everything. We've had a pretty catastrophic year for crypto, so I don't blame it for being a good bit lower than this peak here. But we can see that, you know, basically 45 days before, it was in a much better place. And that was where our last peak was before the halving, basically. And if we have a look, if we go to our peak, let's just see. If we go to our peak, and it's priced in for the 2nd of August, that's roughly 30 days. So a lot shorter as well. And also this is a much harsher down, I would say. I mean, how far have we dropped? It might not be, it might just be because it's a lot cheaper in general, down 21% roughly. if we go to 2019 and we have a look, it does look much harsher, but yeah, I mean, on the halving day it jumped back up to minus 27%, but even now that is below what she dropped to here. So I mean, in my mind, we could be seeing another 2015 sort of halving where it's just poor price action. Maybe we have a little wick, but maybe it's just a big sell-off on the halving day. Maybe it's not something to put your weight in. Again, not financial advice. Nothing in this video is ever financial advice. Nothing in any of my videos is financial advice. So it depends what outlook you want to have on the coin from the metrics you have used and want to put weight into. If you think it's going to be a sort of 2019 sort of year where you think that we'll have a wick on the day, if I were you, or if I was to, you know, believe a similar thing, I would sort of be buying a week before, roughly 7-8 days before, see what the price is at, maybe buy however much you want to put in. I'm not even going to go into amounts or anything like that. Buy your Litecoin here, and then I would set a stop loss price for maybe, or sorry, not stop loss, take profit. We'll say that you buy somewhere around this price, and then you sell somewhere, you set your take profit for this. You could potentially put it for 15%. Now again, of what you paid for it the week before. Again, this is if you believe that Litecoin is going to have a bullish halving this year. There's a lot of reasons that it won't, and there's a lot of reasons that it will. So it's totally up to you and what you decide to do. I'm personally not going to get involved in this trade. Well, as of the moment anyway, I might. I don't know. I don't think I will though. It's just a bit too risky, to be honest with you, because we've had two before it. One of them was bad and one of them was good. And although the one that was good was most recent, it still doesn't mean that it's a coin flip, you know? It is a coin flip. But if you're going to be bullish, buy a week before, set a stop loss of 10-15%, you know, whatever your risk tolerance allows you to go to, and hope that the price wicks up to that. But that's what you're literally doing. You're putting faith in that there will be a sell the news type day and you get a wick, because like from every halving we've seen, the price has always gone down. I mean, even in this year alone of 2018, sorry, that's my bad, 2017, oh no, 2019 was the halving, what am I on about? You know, 2019, it was just down basically for literally the whole year. And I mean, if you were to guess, if you saw this graph and you didn't know it was Litecoin, I told you it was X coin, and I told you that it had a halving, where you know, there's nothing noticeable there that shouts there was a halving or there was a super bullish event. It just shows that there was one major catastrophe after the other, you know, boom, drop down, boom. So again, you're putting your money in a coin that potentially might just spend the whole year going down. And from, you know, historic performance, that's what it has done. And again, if you want to be bearish, I mean, you can always short the coin. I don't think you'd be honestly taking too much of a risk if you did that for the next few days. Again, though, always up to you, not financial advice. I don't get involved really with much of the futures crypto space. Again, it's just too risky. I mean, you can literally go to zero, and that's just not a risk I want to take. I know the gains are big, but if you're going to be rational about it, your gains aren't that big. And if you're going to be crazy about it, then your potential to lose everything is, you know, pretty high. So it's just not for me. But again, hope you found this video helpful. Whatever your outlook on Litecoin and the halving, coming up this year, 2nd of August, I would be sort of sitting on the sideline watching. I wouldn't be putting money in. I wouldn't be trying to make money from this. Now, you can do whatever you want. I'm not your dad, not financial advice. But yeah, it wouldn't be for me. So I hope you found this video useful, guys. I'll be covering Litecoin again just before the halving, 1 or 2 days before. We'll have another look. If it follows this downward trend and doesn't break out of it, roughly a week before Litecoin, I would say that it's going to be bad news for the halving day. But then again, you could have it that it's had all this bad price action, it drops to maybe $80, maybe not that bad, maybe $85, and then on the halving you get a big pump and then it drops back below $85 again. But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna have to wait to find out more and see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care and peace.